You're listening to Real Talk Texas with local expert Steve Hakes. Now, here's Steve.
Welcome back. In the studio today, we've got the Wall team of RE/MAX Heritage in the Mid-Cities area. Some real experts with a lot of expertise in the Mid-Cities area. I'm sure you service other parts of the Metroplex as well, but you're located in Colleyville. And so, I really feel like we've got some people that understand that marketplace. You've gone through the highs and lows. You're giving a lot of great advice to people right now that are getting ready to list their house and people that are getting ready to buy. And the Wall team has a team of specialists that can really help you out there. If you're listening, go ahead and pull out your cell phone. We're going to give you a number to send a text to. It's 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. And just send a text to the show. If you're driving, just leave a voicemail, please. Just say buy or sell. We'll put you in touch with the Wall team. I'll help you out as far as giving you the right mortgage advice to make sure you're getting to a home that's making you comfortable, not overstressed, with maybe too high of a payment. If you're a regular listener, I'm very passionate about the mortgage side of the business and how that's a key part of your financial planning and how I help you with that. And so let's talk a little bit about, we know right now that the market's hot. You've got a team of specialists, the people you list homes for. You're going in. You're sending people in to make it look nice. You're staging it. You're doing all the things that are awesome to really help somebody sell their house quickly. With that said, and I'm hearing this a lot. My house was on the market for one day, and I got three offers, multiple offers, above price, all those things. So what kind of advice are you giving the listing people? I know you said it's important to get everything lined up. Well, what kind of advice are you giving them for their next move?
Oh, for their next move, we definitely, key have to get pre-approved. Then they have to be available to go look at the home when it comes on the market. So they have to be primed and ready to go.
No, for the listing side.
For the listing side.
Yeah.
On the listing side is to sell. Well, as far as what type of offers they receive.
Well, no, what I'm seeing a lot is, say I listed my house, and I'm kind of thinking, well, it's going to take a few months to sell, whatever. I'll take my time.
Uh-huh.
And now it's a different market, right? Okay,
yeah, and that's a fear of a lot of sellers right now is, what if my home, they don't think it's going to sell in 2 days. So it very well could. So we are definitely asking them to prepare for a possible double move. Okay. And if you want to take advantage of being able to accept the very best offer monetarily, highest price, then you may not find the home that you love in 2 days. So as a backup plan, let's look at some places where you can go for short-term temporary housing if you have to.
Okay.
That's more of a talk we're having than we ever had before.
So I would imagine that if they're staying in the area, mm-hmm. and maybe some people are moving out of state or whatever, mm-hmm. that could be possible. But I guess when you're talking to that listing agent, the seller, thank you, mm-hmm. My advice would be get ready to start looking right away.
Oh, yeah.
And be prepared. And I that's kind of a catchy thing, how do you get there from here kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Well, we because it's going to probably be easy to sell their home. We're mm-hmm. seeing so many contingency contracts come in, homes already under contract. It's just contingent on it closing. So with our sellers, what we're doing is while they're preparing their home for sale, getting it painted, getting carpet, getting it staged, we have them out looking with our buyer agents already.
And obviously you have them pre-qualified by your lender.
Mm-hmm. And before we ever get their home listed, we want them out seeing what's on the market, as well as, if they find one they love, they can try a contingency. We really don't want them to put a contingency contract in until we have their home at least listed. But we do want them to know what's on the market and be ready to jump when the house comes.
Probably really helps them get a feel for what their house is really worth, too, if they're out
mm-hmm.
looking for another house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the condition of the homes that they're looking at and why it's important for them to get theirs looking really good.
Like anything in life, I think you have to have a real professional. Mm-hmm. And so the idea of going out and trying to find a house and write a contract as an individual without representation, I would think that a lot of listing agents wouldn't even consider somebody came in with their own, I'm going to offer you this without an agent representing them.
Those people who are trying to do that are losing out on the house that they love. over and over again.
And one thing I want to make sure you listeners understand is that when you engage with a realtor that's representing you, that doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
The seller is going to pay for them to represent you at the end of the day. So there's no reason not to do that. And I think it's really important to sit down with one or two realtors, sometimes even three, until you find that one you click with that really gets to know what you're looking for and what you need, and then sit down with a financial professional and really find out what you can afford and what's going to make you comfortable. And so one of the things I think that we do different at Affiliated Bank than most places, most of the big banks and most of the mortgage people out there won't even submit your file for underwriting until they have a property. I think that's a mistake in today's market. And so what we're doing right now is, here's how it works. You call up your mortgage person. They're going to take your information over the phone, and they pull your credit, and you tell them how much money you have, how much you make, all those things. And they come back and they run it through an automated system through Fannie Mae or Ginnie Mae if it's a USDA property. And it comes back and says approved, eligible. Okay. Well, that's good, but it's not 100% solid in today's market because underwriting guidelines have gotten really tight. Some of the documentation that you could give in the past is not accepted today. Self-employed people are scrutinized, so you got to know how to read a tax return, which I've been doing since '99. And so you have to really be able to go in there and see what are the potential issues. And also, some people that are listing their house and they haven't had their credit pulled in several years, they don't really know what's on their credit report. With identity theft and all those things that go on, it's really important that you get your credit pulled before you list your house, I think. Because what would happen if you don't qualify to buy a house and you've already listed it to sell? I mean, that, to me, I think it's really important. A lot of mortgage people focus on the buyer side. I like to focus on the listing side as well, because I think it's so critical in today's market to make sure that these people make that next move. The next step we do is we give you a checklist, and we say, okay, give us all this. And the faster you can get that checklist, tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, IRAs, all those things, we get the whole picture together, and we actually send it into underwriting. We do an underwriting. Our underwriting turn times today are like 48 hours. So we get it back, and the underwriter will actually look at these things, and then I issue a different letter. It's very different. I have a pre-qual letter, which is a Texas state regulated, very standard, has a lot of outs for the lender. If you read that letter, they're basically saying, they're pre-qualified based on what I know, but I don't know everything, so I don't have to do the loan. When you get a pre-approval, it says you're approved to buy a house. The only thing it's conditioned for is the collateral, the house, the title, the insurance, those things. Those are the only things that you're waiting on. And I call that making you a cash buyer. So because at that point, even if I had cash, I'm going to want to see that the house appraises. I'm going to want to see that it's got clear title. I'm going to want to see that it's got a good survey, all the things I need to secure myself going forward. So you can actually close in 2 weeks with us once you get through that process. So what we're doing is we're basically not just taking your file and saying, go find a house, call us back when you get your house, and then we'll start the process and give you 30 days. In today's market, I feel, at least in our team, we want to make sure that we're moving these clients through the process so they're ready to buy, and our realtors love it because they're not getting the surprises at the end of the day. It takes if you're listening out there, it takes your cooperation as a client to make sure that once you get that initial letter that you know the importance of getting everything else in so there aren't any surprises. So I'd say about 50% of our clients, unfortunately, will give us everything right at that point. The other 50%, they're not sure if they're going to buy. And then once they get the contract, of course, they want it done yesterday. But that's part of the secret sauce from the mortgage side. As far as secret sauce from your guys' side, as far as getting the offers approved. And you've got the unique ability that you've got buyer's agents and you've got listing agents. So if a buyer's agent's submitting an offer, what's the trick? What's part of the trick? I'm sure part of it's a pre-qual letter or the pre-approval letter. Pre-approval letter.
But our buyer agents have gone to the length of having their buyers actually write a personal letter to the seller stating why they love their home, why they want to live there, and it's a very personal side coming from the buyer, hopefully to pull on the heartstrings because they may very well be competing against other agents. A higher option fee is another thing. The fee is a non-refundable fee the buyer pays directly to the seller to take the home off the market so they can get their inspections done. and so no one else can buy it out from under them. And it's customarily $100, but if we coach them to make it maybe $250, that shows more sincerity.
Okay.
A strong earnest money check to go along with it.
How much earnest money is typically put up?
1% is customary, but yeah,
Okay.
even higher.
Yeah.
But to put the terms of the contract, they're not negative towards the buyer. They're just terms that can make it very favorable to the seller.
To simplify the offer, I think, and not ask for specialty items or personal property or extra closing costs and those kinds of things. Yeah. Just to keep it simple. Mm-hmm.
If you want more tips on the key ways to make sure that your listing, your purchase offer gets accepted, pull out your cell phone. It's 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546. And that's the show here at Real Talk Texas. Just put in the word buy or sell. We'll put you in touch with the Wall team. They're great experts in the Mid-Cities area. We've had them on the show for a reason, because they've got 20 years experience. They're some of the top agents in the marketplace. They've got a great team with great expertise, and they're here to help you, the consumer. They have an awesome mission statement. And so if you're listening and you need some help in that, just let us know. We are really excited about the real estate market today. We think it's going to last for the next couple of years. I know that based on its statistics that more and more people are moving into Texas. And
people per day, we've heard.
How many?
1,000 people per day.
Every day. And that goes along with what our professor down at Texas A&M Real Estate School was saying, growing the Metroplex from 7 million to 12 or 13 million by 2030. So there's a reason for that. And so now's the time. We're at the bottom. Rates are low. Rates won't always stay low, and prices are going to go up. So if you want to buy or sell, it's time to make that move. If you're holding out as a listing and thinking about selling, you just remember when you go to buy your house, that price is going up too. So now's the time to make that move. I want to thank you guys again for coming into the studio. Again, Laurie and Larry Wall of the Wall team out in the Mid-Cities area with RE/MAX Heritage. You'll be able to find them in Colleyville if you want to look them up, or reach out to the show. You've been listening to Real Talk Texas, KLIF, AM 570, news and information. Listen to us next week where we've got more expertise, and we're going to talk about the very high-end market and what's happening in that next week.